Africa is a continent of incredible diversity, rich cultures, and some of the fastest-growing economies in the world. But behind its progress, some countries continue to face serious security challenges caused by armed conflicts, terrorism, political instability, and humanitarian crises. From devastating wars that have displaced millions of people to extremist groups threatening entire regions, these nations face some of the most difficult security situations on the continent. But which countries are considered the most dangerous in Africa in 2026? In today's video, we're counting down the top 10 most dangerous countries in Africa 2026, ranked based on conflict levels, political instability, peace and security indicators, terrorism threats, and humanitarian risks using assessments such as the Global Peace Index and Inform Risk Index. This ranking does not mean the people of these countries are dangerous. Millions of citizens continue to live peaceful lives, build businesses, and support their communities every day. Instead, this list highlights countries facing the highest security risks due to ongoing conflicts and instability. Stay until the end, because the number one country has faced one of the world's most serious humanitarian challenges since gaining independence. Now, let's begin. Number 10, Ethiopia. Starting our countdown at number 10 is Ethiopia. With a population of more than 120 million people, Ethiopia is one of Africa's largest nations and one of the continent's most historically important countries. However, in recent years, Ethiopia has experienced major internal security challenges, including armed conflicts and political tensions in regions such as Tigray, Amhara, and Oromia. The conflict in Tigray created one of Africa's biggest humanitarian crises, causing widespread displacement and affecting millions of people. Although peace agreements have reduced some fighting, localized conflicts and political tensions continue in certain areas. Despite these challenges, Ethiopia remains a major economic and regional power in East Africa. However, ongoing instability places it among Africa's highest-risk countries in 2026. Number 9. Nigeria. Coming in at number 9 is Nigeria. Known as the Giant of Africa, Nigeria is the continent's most populous country and one of its largest economies. However, its size and diversity have also created complex security challenges. In the northeast, extremist groups such as Boko Haram and ISWAP have carried out attacks for more than a decade. In the northwest, armed criminal groups and kidnapping networks have created serious concerns, while some regions continue experiencing communal conflicts. Despite these challenges, Nigeria remains a global cultural and economic powerhouse with a thriving technology sector, a major entertainment industry, and millions of hardworking citizens. Number 8. Burkina Faso. Taking the 8th position is Burkina Faso. Located in the Sahel region of West Africa, Burkina Faso has become one of the countries most affected by extremist violence. Armed groups have expanded their activities across northern and rural areas, attacking communities and forcing millions of people to flee their homes. The security crisis has affected schools, healthcare systems, agriculture, and economic development. Political instability and military changes have also made the situation more complicated. Although the country continues fighting to restore security, Burkina Faso remains one of Africa's most serious conflict zones. Number 7. Mali. At number 7 is Mali. Mali has experienced years of insecurity caused by extremist groups, armed rebellions, and political instability. The northern and central regions of the country have been especially affected by violence, with attacks targeting communities and security forces. Mali has also experienced military-led political changes, creating additional challenges for stability and international cooperation. Despite these difficulties, Mali remains famous for its ancient history, cultural heritage, and important cities such as Timbuktu. However, ongoing conflict keeps Mali among Africa's most dangerous countries. Number 6. Libya. Coming in at number 6 is Libya. Once one of Africa's wealthiest countries because of its oil reserves, Libya has struggled with instability since the 2011 civil conflict. The fall of Muammar Gaddafi created a power vacuum, leading to political divisions, competing authorities, and the rise of armed groups. Although some cities have experienced periods of stability, security conditions can change quickly. Libya's large oil resources give it enormous economic potential, but political divisions continue to affect national security. Number 5. Central African Republic. Halfway through our countdown is the Central African Republic. The country has faced repeated cycles of political instability and armed conflict for decades. Various armed groups continue operating in parts of the country, creating insecurity and humanitarian challenges. Violence has contributed to displacement, limited access to essential services, and economic difficulties. International peace efforts continue, but restoring long-term stability remains a major challenge. Because of ongoing conflict and fragile institutions, the Central African Republic remains one of Africa's most vulnerable security environments. Number 4. Democratic Republic of the Congo. Taking the 4th spot is the Democratic Republic of the Congo. The DRC is one of Africa's largest countries and one of the richest in natural resources, including minerals used around the world. However, especially in the eastern provinces, decades of armed conflict have created one of the continent's longest-running security crises. Multiple rebel groups operate in parts of the east, causing violence, displacement, and humanitarian emergencies. Millions of people have been affected by instability, despite ongoing national and international efforts to bring peace. With its enormous resources but continued security struggles, the DRC remains one of Africa's most complex conflict zones. Number 3. Sudan. Taking the 3rd spot is Sudan. Sudan is currently facing one of the most devastating conflicts in Africa. A war between rival armed forces has affected major cities, damaged infrastructure, and forced millions of people to leave their homes. The crisis has created severe humanitarian problems, including shortages of food, healthcare, and essential services. Sudan has a long history of political instability, and the current conflict has made recovery extremely difficult. Today, it remains one of the most dangerous security situations in Africa. Number 2. Somalia. At number 2 is Somalia. Somalia has faced decades of insecurity caused by political instability, terrorism, and internal conflicts. The country continues to deal with threats from extremist groups such as Al-Shabaab, which has carried out numerous attacks in recent years. Weak institutions, regional tensions, and security challenges have slowed development efforts. However, Somalia is also a country of resilience, with communities working toward peace, economic growth, and rebuilding. Despite progress in some areas, Somalia remains one of Africa's highest-risk environments. Number 1. South Sudan. Taking the number 1 spot is South Sudan. Since becoming independent in 2011, South Sudan has struggled with political instability, armed conflicts, and severe humanitarian challenges. Internal divisions, ethnic tensions, and competition between political groups have contributed to repeated crises. Millions of people have been displaced, while efforts to create lasting peace continue facing major obstacles. Despite having valuable natural resources, including oil reserves, South Sudan remains one of the world's most fragile countries. For these reasons, South Sudan takes the number 1 position as the most dangerous country in Africa in 2026, based on conflict levels, instability and security risks. There you have it. The top 10 most dangerous countries in Africa, 2026. From wars and terrorism to political instability and humanitarian crises, these countries face some of the greatest security challenges on the continent. However, behind every statistic are millions of people who continue working, raising families, and building a better future. Security situations can change, and many African nations continue making efforts toward peace, stability, and development. Which country surprised you the most on this list? Do you think another country should have been included? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more top 10 videos about Africa, world rankings, history, wealth, and incredible stories from around the globe. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.